Kiwi country music queen. Tami Neilson's heading to Nashville to play the Grand Ole Opry. Only the elite in country music get to play, and you have to be invited to perform. The Opry is the radio show that made country music famous and has been running for 98 years and launched the careers of, little-known people like Dolly Parton, Hank Williams, Patsy Cline, Loretta Lynn, some dude called Willie Nelson. You get it. But it's not the first time Tami has attended the Opry, but something tells me that this time will be very, very special. And Tami Neilson joins me now. Tami!
Hello.
How lovely to talk. It's been a long time.
I know, and I apologize in advance. I'm losing my voice, so hopefully I will get better before the Opry.
Oh, my gosh, yes. Oh, look, we've all been, babe, I've been coughing up a lung for 5 weeks and the throat's very croaky, so look, I get it. So, firstly, let's work back. Well, tell us about the first time you attended the Grand Ole Opry, and that was with your family, right?
It was, and we were living in Nashville at the time, and I was in a family band, my mom and my dad and my 2 brothers, and I kind of dreamed of getting to go to the Opry most of my childhood. It's kind of like the country music mecca, and so the first time we attended was, I think I was 16 years old, and we sat in that audience, and, I just dreamed of one day being on that stage. And, it only took me 30 years to become an overnight sensation.
Oh, my
As
gosh.
it does in this business.
Good things take time, don't they? So when is your performance? When's the date?
It's the 17th of September, so only a month to go.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And is it so you've got to be invited to play, correct? Who invited you?
Yeah, it's pretty special. Well, it was kind of crazy. As I said, I've always dreamed of playing it, and I have, managers who have other artists who have played on it, so I'm like, can you pitch me for the Opry, and and they're like, well, we can, but it's an exclusive thing, and it can be tricky. You can't just pitch it and get on. Like, it's a real, thing that people see as, you have to earn it, Yeah. And I had performed back in April. There was a filming for a TV show on PBS in the States, which will air later this year. And it was a Patsy Cline tribute. And they had all these huge country stars and people who weren't country stars, like Pat Benatar and Rita Wilson and Kristen Chenoweth, all these really massive people. And I'm like, how did I get invited to this? Did somebody make a mistake? Did they think it was Tammy Wynette? What happened? So I somehow miraculously got on this show, and I performed, and it was the most incredible audience. I was only the second song up. I was singing quite a deep cut that's not one of her well-known songs. And I got a standing ovation, second person up. And the Opry people who book it were in that audience.
Oh,
and
here we go.
That was the moment. Yeah.
And so who actually called you? Where were you? Is it like somebody runs in with a gilded invite and hands it to you, or does a white dove fly in with a scroll in its beak? How did you get it?
Totally. A velvet pillow and a man with
velvet pillow with a glass slipper. Tami, thou'st come to the Grand Opry. Who asked you?
It wasn't quite as exciting as all that. Well, it was just as exciting, but it wasn't that formal. I got a phone call, so I was standing. It was about a week later, and I was playing the New Orleans Jazz Festival. So I was in New Orleans. I was standing in this little club with an amazing jazz band playing in the middle of the day, and my brother and I were listening to this band, and my manager was standing there. And she got this call, and she turned to me, and she said, "You've just been invited to play the Grand Ole Opry." And my brother and I just immediately burst into tears. Both of us did. And we hugged. And Jay, my brother, just started crying and saying, oh my God, can you imagine how Dad would feel right now? Like if he were here, and yeah, it was such a special moment. So no velvet pillow, but tears and a hug from my brother, which is even better.
Did you go to the room? Did you go, hey, drinks on me? I'm off to the Opry, and everyone's like, oh, we like this girl.
Oh my God, if you did that in New Orleans, you would be totally broke.
Oh my gosh, that is so. So do you have any details yet? Do you know how it works? Do you just get a set time and you're only allowed a couple of songs, or has that not happened yet?
No. So the way that the Opry normally works is it's multiple artists on the night, and you get to perform usually 2 to 3 songs. So you got to make those songs count. And oh my God, choosing the songs, I still keep kind of going back and forth on what I'm going to sing, but some of the other artists on the night I'm huge fans of. Ashley McBride is playing, the Blind Boys of Alabama. So like has such an incredible lineup to be a part of anyway, and so let's just add the layers of nervousness, and you've just got to pick 3 babies. You've got to pick 3 out of the whole lot. Yeah. And that's that's a toughie, but I mean, they're bangers, so they're all bangers. Thank you.
Hey, while you're there, I believe, are you also, you're squeezing in some other gigs somewhere in America?
Yes, I'm also playing Dollywood, of all places. That's like the dream. It's the dream.
You are so living the dream. I love Dolly Parton. Tami, I love you, but there was a but.
Girl,
but I think if I met Dolly, I think I'd faint.
Honestly, I feel like I would too. And like after this happened, doing the duet with Willie Nelson and then getting invited to play the Opry, I was telling we were talking about it. We were having a little glasses of non-alcoholic champagne with the kids the night that I got home. And I said to the kids, I'm like, well, now what, guys? Like, that's the top of my bucket list. Do I need to retire now?
No.
And my one son said, no, Mom, the next thing on your list is you got to meet Dolly Parton.
Yes.
And I'm like, I don't know if I can handle that.
I know, that's the trifecta. You've been, this would be it. So you're going to play at Dollywood. That's incredible. Do you know what this is, though, Tami? You've said it yourself. This is a testament to your tenacity in this business, which is not an easy one. In fact, you probably picked one of the hardest. And you've even said to yourself, as about describing yourself, you've said you're more the tortoise than the hare. And you look back, like you said, it's been 30 years since you were sitting in the Opry, and now you're going to play it. I mean, that's. Do you really take time to sit and reflect, what you have achieved and still achieving?
I think when it's, like you said, this business is hard, and it really values those people who kind of take off like a rocket and they're overnight sensations and kind of seem to come out of nowhere.